All right, here I am at the abandoned railroad crossing here at Isom Street in Spartanburg, South Carolina. Now, this railroad crossing right here is a rather neat one that I believe that I've actually toured in the past on my Exploring Abandoned Railroad Crossings on Google Maps series. And this crossing right here, since I got a chance to go down way south into the pretty much the South Atlantic coast of the United States to rail fan and visit a bunch of places and tour around and travel, I decided to go ahead and tour it in person. Now, this crossing right here is owned by an old industrial lead or industry line that branches off of the Norfolk Southern Charlotte district. And this crossing, as you can see, has been abandoned for quite some time. And according to a few sources, this crossing has been abandoned for well over 15 years. And that's pretty much, and I guess that's when it's seen its last train was like when Norfolk Southern used a part of it to store some cars like way down in the parts of the line where it was still clean. And they since took out those cars and cut up the junction that used to connect near CP Beaumont on the Charlotte district and pretty much left this entire line behind. Now, this is one of the few remaining crossings that I found along this industrial line, and decided to tour it today for you guys. So yeah, I guess all this said, I'll explain as I go on. There's quite a lot to uncover. Well, not a lot, but like, you know, quite a lot to dig in per se. So yeah, I guess with that said, let's go ahead and see what remains here. So here is the only standing signal. As you can see there, I say only standing signal because the other one is now gone. As you can see, there's the foundation where the other cantilever used to be. So yes, this was a cantilever style crossing, and this is the only one that stands, but as you can see, they since turned the lights to the side, but here's the equipment that it features. So for this one, this has a Safetran cantilever. I believe this is like a 70s style. Yep, there it is. And here's the emergency information right here, and it's quite ironic since they put a modern dot tag on this. And the dot number for this crossing is 716619A. And if you look on the other side, you can see some emergency information etched into the cantilever itself. I believe that's what it is, or that's just a serial number of this cantilever, not exactly sure. But yeah, and for the mast lights, this has two pairs of Safetran 8-inch lights, all incandescent. As you can see, one of them's missing its backgrounds. They're all turned facing towards each other, as you can see. And these are all sitting on a Safetran light bracket. And for the overhead lights, this features three pairs of Safetran 12x24-inch incandescent lights, all sitting on Safetran light brackets, as you can see. And these are the older, like 70s or early 80s light heads with the Safetran bottom logo, which is pretty cool. Although I can kind of tell one of them's newer. Actually, no, I'm wrong. They're all the same, pretty much around the same era of install as the rest of the setup. And for the bell, which remains up here, this has a Safetran mechanical bell. Hold on, it's kind of hard to see. I'm gonna go to another angle and show y'all. So yep, here's the Safetran mechanical bell that still stands here. Quite interesting, and I just realized that there's actually a small chunk of the background of that singular mast light still remaining. And there was some paper emergency information by Norfolk Southern that I missed on the side of the cantilever right there. So yeah, that right there was pretty much the first signal. Well, the only standing signal here on this industrial branch lead crossing right here on Isom Street, or SC44. I think that's like the actual highway name. It's a busy road, but yeah, there it is, still standing tall, and will probably forever stand tall with the tree just growing around it. Now, before I move to the other side and show y'all what's there, here is the track view facing, I believe, east. Yeah, and it curves through a neighborhood, which is pretty cool, with some crossbutt crossings, in which I also reviewed. You can see some cars crossing them. Yes, there's some old crossbutt crossings down there wrapping through a neighborhood, in which I toured on my abandoned railroad crossing series on Google Maps series. And I also like, you know, shown them as a bonus feature on one of my other crossing tour videos that I made earlier today. And here are the rails themselves, as you can see, completely buried. They still exist. They definitely still exist, but like, I gotta move some stuff around with my shoe for you to see them. And here's the crossing grade itself. Pretty beat up. So yeah, I guess that said, let's go ahead and try and crossing the street and showing y'all what's left of this crossing. All right, here's the other side of the crossing, which features a few other things worth mentioning. So here is the foundation where the other signal used to be. And I assume that this was the same setup as the other side with the old Safetran 70s cantilever slash incandescent mechanical bell setup. But as you can see, it's completely gone now. You can see it's tipped over, and there's a big sinkhole right here. If I step in it, my shoe sinks. So maybe this was knocked down by something in the past, judging from the condition of the concrete foundation and the bolts themselves. But pretty much that's it. So yeah, that right there was the signals itself for Isom Street. Here's the relay case, which is way back here. And if you look right here, you can see the old test box and terminals are all gone. There's the old test light, and you could the old light, the indicator light. That's what I meant to say, indicator light, which has a hornet's nest in it. And here's the latch itself, which is indefinitely locked. So yeah, that right there was the show for the other side. Now if you look at the west view, you can see where the industrial lead goes, and over it is the CSX Blue Ridge subdivision, ex-Clinchfield line. Well, this is like the some of the north part of it that isn't destroyed. Hate to bring that up, but yep, that's the Blue Ridge subdivision that goes over the industrial lead, which is really cool. I bet it looked really cool back then to see a CSX passing over while industry local going through this line way back in the day. And if I go ahead and take a look at the tracks, yep, you can see where they go down, and I believe they're all cut up. I'm not sure what are the whereabouts of the industry. I can kind of see a little bit of a building down there, so maybe that's where it is. So they're either no longer accepting rail service, or it's been shut down for good, or demolished. I can't really tell what that is over there. So yeah, that right there is, so with that said, that pretty much concludes my little tour. I should probably not step in that. That's a sewage pile. But pretty much concludes my tour of Isom Street, abandoned railroad crossing owned by the Industrial Leads track that branches off the Charlotte District, Norfolk Southern Charlotte District. Sad to see it go, although it's been 15 years since a train has seen, though it's been 15 years since a train has last went on this line, but that's pretty much what remains here for now. So with that said, over and out.